On the 9th of November 1918, Friedrich Ebert, leader of the Social Democratic Party of Germany, announced the creation of a German Republic. This is known today as the Weimar Republic. As leader of the largest political party in Germany, Ebert was appointed as Chancellor. He declared that the Republic would be run as a coalition with other socialist parties. This is when all parties unite and cooperate together for combined political action. Although the coalition was in charge of the German Republic on paper, the government was actually struggling to gain control. In this pod, we'll look at the political challenges facing the ruling coalition.
Challenges came from both the political left and right sides of the spectrum. Left-wing beliefs are typically progressive and aim to support those who can't support themselves. They're usually aimed at benefiting the working classes and believe that taxation should redistribute opportunities and wealth. Extreme left-wing policies might be in favor of an equal distribution of wealth, where all property is owned by the state. An example would be communism. Right-wing beliefs are typically traditional. They aim to support businesses and believe most people should be able to look after themselves, such as through paying for their own healthcare and education. They usually benefit the middle to upper classes. Extreme right-wing policies are often authoritarian and believe in nationalism. An example would be fascism.
The first real threat to Ebert's government came from left-wing revolutionaries. They had been closely following events in Russia in 1917 and hoped for the same social revolution in Germany. They saw the removal of the Kaiser as the first step.
On the night of the 5th of January 1919, a small group known as the Spartacists took action. Led by Rosa Luxemburg and Karl Liebknecht, the group seized control of a number of government headquarters. However, they had little planning or support. Ebert, using a force of volunteer regiments known as the Freikorps, crushed the group. The uprising formally ended on the 10th of January, when the government regained control of the Spartacist headquarters. The use of military force to crush the uprising left over 100 Spartacists dead and the leaders murdered.
Whilst Ebert had been successful in preventing an uprising, he had to rely on the army and the Freikorps. These were forces he did not fully control. This highlighted the weakness of the government to the opposition. It also lost valuable support from the working class. To make matters worse, the government had to continue to rely on the support from the Freikorps in order to prevent smaller uprisings in cities across Germany. This led to the deaths of many more communists.
The threat to the government also came from the extreme right, following the signing of the Treaty of Versailles. The army and former army members formed a significant part of the right-wing opposition. They were greatly angered by the restrictions the treaty placed upon them. They had been reduced to 100,000 men, and their military capacity was significantly cut. This led to a huge increase in the size of the unofficial military groups, such as the Freikorps. However, the Allies forced the German government to disband such groups. In March 1920, Ebert attempted to do so, but he was met with hostility. Freikorps units led by Wolfgang Kapp marched into Berlin and declared a new national government. Ebert was left unsupported by the army and was forced to flee to Dresden. Violently overturning a leader in this way is known as a putsch.
This left Ebert with only one opportunity for retaliation: the workers. In March 1920, the Social Democratic Party of Germany implored workers, comrades, go on strike, put down your work, and stop the military dictatorship. The workers supported the party, and within days of public strike, the Kapp's putsch failed.
The Spartacist Rising and the Kapp Putsch were very high-profile attempts to overthrow the government. Yet there were also a series of smaller uprisings in the first years of the Weimar Republic, including political assassinations. The government tried to deal with acts of terrorism fairly, but they were hindered by the courts. The left-wing revolutionaries were harshly punished, while the right were sympathized with. This further weakened the Republic.